I caught my girlfriend with her affair partner in a hotel room, exposed it, and she lost her job. I, 31M, met my now ex-girlfriend Karen, 29F, 5 years ago after she left her abusive boyfriend. She had moved back in with her parents and her small child, Bobby. She dropped out of college during her senior year when that guy got her pregnant, and he continued to cheat on her and physically abuse her until she finally left. We got introduced by one of her sorority sisters, Angie, who had married a friend of mine, Dave. Karen and I connected quickly. We dated for a few months, and she and Bobby eventually moved in with me. The first few years were great. I helped her go back and finish her degree, and my dad got her a stable job where he works. Life felt solid. Karen was thriving. We were functioning like a real family. About a year and a half ago, Karen reconnected with some of her sorority sisters. They started doing girls' night out every other Saturday. She was also grabbing drinks after work with coworkers from time to time. I wasn't thrilled, but I tried not to be controlling. Still, when I brought up how often she was going out, she got defensive. Arguments started creeping in. Then Angie told Dave, and Dave told me, that Karen was flirting a lot during their nights out, to the point it made Angie uncomfortable. So, one night, I showed up at the bar unannounced. I caught her letting some guy put his hands on her. I walked up, asked the guy to take his hands off my girlfriend, and told Karen we were leaving. It was an ugly drive home. We fought. She slept on the couch. The next morning, she apologized and said she had too much to drink and got carried away. I told her that wasn't good enough. If we were going to stay together, we needed to go to counseling. Girls' nights were on hold until we made real progress. Things got better, or so I thought. 2 months ago, I noticed her acting sketchy again. Overly protective of her phone. Leaving the room to take calls. Denying everything when I brought it up. I talked to Angie and Dave again. Eventually, Angie admitted that Karen had been flirting with an old boyfriend from college. Angie had called her out, and Karen actually said, "If I can keep both of them happy and he doesn't find out, what's the harm?" She said I was a great provider, and great with Bobby. And she didn't want to lose that, but she needed more. I was gutted. According to Angie, the old boyfriend lived in Houston, so they insisted it was just harmless flirting, and nothing physical. Then came the wedding. One of Karen's sorority sisters was getting married. Karen was asked to be a bridesmaid, and we made plans to go together, but Bobby developed an ear issue and couldn't fly. So I volunteered to stay back with him while she went. It was a 3-day event: rehearsal dinner, bachelorette party, bridal shower, wedding day. After the rehearsal dinner, I got a call from Dave. Karen's old boyfriend had shown up at the wedding. They were hanging out and being very indiscreet. Dave sent me photos, and even a short video of them making out in the hotel. I was done. I called Karen's dad and asked if he could watch Bobby so I could drive down for the wedding. It was a long 6-hour haul, but I got there late that evening. I went straight to her hotel room. I could hear laughing inside. I knocked. No answer. I knocked again. Still nothing. On the third knock, Karen opened the door, in her robe. I walked in and saw a guy naked in her bed. I introduced myself and advised him he should leave, quickly. Karen undressed under her robe, started making excuses, then turned to accusations. I told her, "Enough. We're done. I'm leaving. If you decide to come back, pack your stuff and get out of my life." As I walked out into the hall, I saw a dozen people standing outside, including Angie. I hadn't closed the door, and we were loud. We definitely put on a scene. I drove back through the night and made it home around sunrise. I crashed hard. The next morning, I started boxing up her stuff. But when I came to her lingerie drawer, all the special stuff that hadn't been worn in a while, I felt this wave of rage and clarity hit me. She came back the next afternoon. I didn't say much. She asked to talk. I told her to pack fast. She tried to explain, then cry, then play the victim. I didn't engage. I just watched as she gathered her things. She moved out 2 days later. Now here's the kicker. Her job? The one my dad helped her get? Gone. You see, Karen worked for a client-facing role at a conservative company. After everything blew up, Angie showed me photos and video proof that I hadn't even seen, some of which were taken at company events or while traveling on company dime. I anonymously forwarded the evidence to HR and the ethics hotline. There was an investigation. She was found to have violated company policy, using company-paid travel to hook up with someone outside the company, while representing the brand. They fired her. We haven't spoken since. She texts occasionally asking for one more chance. I leave it on read. She lost a boyfriend, her housing, her job, and her support system. I lost a liar. I still have my dignity, my peace, and most importantly, Bobby, who still calls me Dad. She wanted more? Well, now she's got more free time, more regrets, and a lot more explaining to do, to recruiters, to friends, and maybe, if karma's feeling spicy, to Bobby someday. Would I do anything differently? Maybe I would have trusted my gut sooner. But honestly, it felt damn good to walk out of that hotel room with her entire double life crumbling behind me. After she left for the wedding, I went through everything we had bought together, all the lingerie, party clothes, club wear, and tossed it into a separate box. A couple of days later, I dropped that box off at Goodwill. When her return flight landed, she called me from the airport, but her number was still blocked. So she had to Uber home. When she walked in, there were over a dozen boxes sitting in the living room, packed with all of her and Bobby's stuff, ready to go. I told her Bobby was at her parents' house. She could call her dad and have him help haul the rest of her things, either there, or to wherever she planned on staying. She tried to talk her way out of it, but I wasn't listening to her stories anymore. She went to load her suitcases into the car, but her key fob didn't work. I told her, "Both cars are in my name. If you try to take one, I'll report it as stolen." Her dad eventually showed up. I gave him the short version of why we were breaking up. He didn't say much, but we shook hands before he left, and that meant something. That was a week ago. Dave and Angie have since cut contact with Karen. Evidently, our drama spilled over into the wedding day and overshadowed the ceremony. Karen has tried to reach out, we've spoken a couple of times, but I've told her there's no way back for us. Even so, she still refuses to give up. Right now, I just feel hollow. I eat. I go to work. I come home. I try to sleep. I'm not mad anymore. Just numb. Maybe a little sad. Definitely confused. Talking about it out loud is hard, so it felt good to let it all out here. Edit for clarification. The guy at the wedding was not Bobby's dad. He was just someone Karen dated briefly in college. Her relationship with Bobby's father was very physically abusive. She ended up in the ER a couple of times. Angie was the one who drove her to the hospital during the last incident. That's not hearsay. As for the cheating, I have no proof beyond Karen's own admission to Angie, and what I saw at the wedding. So take that for what it's worth. Well, it sounds like Karen's got a remarkable talent for turning a relationship into a spectator sport. I mean, going from, "I survived abuse," to, "How many guys can I juggle before someone catches me?" is an Olympic-level leap. If there were a gold medal for relationship wreckage, she'd be a shoo-in. It's like she was playing a twisted game of emotional Jenga, and unfortunately, I was the one left picking up the pieces. I know I've got a heart of gold for trying to make it work. But sometimes you've got to know when to fold them, right? Update. Thanks for the support, several of you asked, so here's how things played out. This morning, I got a text from Karen's dad. Karen got fired. He said she took it like a true diva. They had a security guard watch her pack up her personal items, and walked her out the front door. Eventually, I'm sure she'll blame me. By Wednesday, I had all her stuff out of the house and blocked her on everything. On Thursday, I got a letter in the mail, 2 pages long. It was full of pleading. She said she made a terrible mistake, and that she just needed to get some stuff out of her system before she could fully devote herself to me. A lot of promises, a lot of what-ifs, none of which I believe. I also got an email from the maid of honor, thanking me for her gift and sending condolences after the incident. Apparently, the affair partner had a girlfriend, one who hadn't attended the pre-wedding functions, but flew in for the ceremony. She heard all the stories leading up to the big day. She had planned to attend the wedding with the guy, but he was a no-show. After talking with Karen's dad again, we both came to the same conclusion. It's better this way. I gave her a second chance when I shouldn't have had to. I stood by her when she had nothing. I supported her Bobby, her dreams, her healing. And she chose to throw it away for a weekend in a hotel room with a guy she barely knew anymore. So no, I don't owe her closure. I gave her every chance in the world. This was her final one. After everything that happened, I considered whether I should just step out of Bobby's life altogether. Not because I stopped caring, far from it, but because I didn't want Karen to use him as a pawn. The last thing I wanted was for her to manipulate him, twist the story, or turn him against me. That kind of emotional tug-of-war would mess with his head, and I didn't want to be part of that chaos. I talked to Karen's dad about it. He asked me some direct questions, the kind I would have preferred to leave out. He was both sad and angry. You could tell the special daddy-daughter bond took some real damage. A few days later, one of Karen's sorority sisters reached out and asked if I wanted to grab dinner. I agreed, not thinking too much of it, just craving normalcy, I guess. Over dinner, she told me, "After everything you did for her, you deserve so much better." She didn't hold back. She said Karen had embarrassed herself beyond belief and that none of the sisters wanted anything to do with her anymore. After that, the conversation shifted. She asked how I was holding up, what I was doing to move forward, how I was coping. She listened. She cared. And by dessert, she said, "If you ever want to talk, grab a drink, or maybe catch a movie, give me a call." Since then, I've been working hard to reset my life. I rearranged all the rooms in the house. I got rid of decorative stuff that reminded me of her and replaced it with things I chose. I installed remote LED lighting and colored backlighting, gave the place a whole new vibe. Next up, I'm repainting Bobby's old room and turning it into a guest room. I also upgraded gyms and signed up for personal training. My new trainer? Pretty sure she's trying to kill me, but in a good way. Keeps my head clear. Just trying to stay busy, fill the space before the silence pulls me down again. Tonight I'm heading out with friends to our old watering hole. First time back since it all went down. Community reactions. "You're moving through this really well. Seriously, turning chicken crap into chicken salad like a pro. Karen wrecked her own life, not yours. If she still thinks she's starring in her own Notebook sequel, she needs to wake up. And let's be honest, that sorority sister? She didn't just randomly show up. Sounds like she had an eye on you for a while and waited for the moment the curtain fell. You don't need to act on it. But I hope it reminds you, you are seen, valued, and wanted. I feel terrible for Bobby. That poor kid's now lost 2 father figures. But with his grandfather stepping in, hopefully, he'll have the steady support he needs. You've made smart, grounded decisions. You didn't lash out. You rebuilt. You protected yourself without turning bitter. Here's hoping we get an update in a year or two, where you've found a wonderful woman, a partner who respects and chooses you every day. You've definitely got this." Getting escorted out of the office by a security guard? That's a new low, even for her. And kudos to you for taking charge of your space and your healing. Repainting, reorganizing, replacing memories with peace. Even your gym upgrades sound like a symbol of transformation, and hey, a cute trainer never hurts, right? That sorority sister? Might be lurking, but she's seeing your worth through all the dust. Keep pushing forward, man. You're rebuilding stronger than ever, and maybe your next chapter isn't just about recovery, but about rediscovery. You've got this. My girlfriend confessed her affair. Turns out, she married my brother behind my back. And my whole family knew. So, after a recent work trip, my girlfriend came home and confessed to cheating on me. She told me she had an affair. Said it was over. Claimed the guy had pressured her to leave me, but she got scared and backed out. In a gesture of reconciliation, she confessed everything, to me, to her family, even to mine. She wanted a fresh start. I was crushed, but part of me, foolishly, wanted to believe she felt remorse. Then I posted about it online. The community didn't hold back. You're young. Was this your dream? Raising someone else's kid? Living with someone who could throw you away like garbage? Walk away. Go find someone who won't betray you. Another comment hit harder. Reconcile what, exactly? She risked your health. Lied for months. Giving a cheater a second chance is like playing Russian roulette with 5 loaded chambers. And the kicker. You seriously want her to abort another man's child just to go back to normal and start a family with her later? What the actual F is wrong with that logic? Those comments stung, but they shook me awake. Someone suggested I dig deeper. Look through her laptop. Check for accounts or apps she might have hidden. So I did. And that's when everything imploded. There was no work affair partner. The real affair partner was my brother. And it had been going on for over 2 months. They made fun of me behind my back, my body, my insecurities, my job. I'm a cook. They'd been hooking up in my house while I was at work. And that 7-day vacation? They got married. In secret. Behind my back. And the worst part? My parents knew. Her parents knew. Everyone knew, except me. They were sending wedding photos in the family chat. I saw it all in her messages. She didn't even name him directly in the chats, but the photos, and the personal references, made it undeniable. I waited for her to get home from work. She walked in, and I asked her about it, calmly. She just smiled. Told me she was tired of pretending. That she only stayed with me until our lease was up. That the baby she was carrying? It was my brother's. I packed a bag and left. I'm staying with my big sister now, who's just as shocked and angry as I am. She's been calling everyone, my parents, my brother, my ex, screaming into their voicemails, demanding answers. Only my parents have tried to reach me. I've ignored every call. I'm cutting them all off. My brother, my parents, her entire family. Done. Thank you all for the support. Right now, I'm just trying to calm down. Trying not to fall apart. Community reaction. So your girlfriend married your brother, and pretended to reconcile with you while your whole family watched? This isn't betrayal. It's a full-scale psychological ambush. You didn't just dodge a bullet. You dodged a missile that had your name engraved on it. At least now, you know who's not your family, and who really is. Props to your sister. She's your lifeline right now. They can go live out their twisted little fairy tale. You're going to write your own story, one with loyalty, dignity, and real love. To whoever needs to hear this. Family is earned, not given. And if you ever find yourself wondering if it's worth digging deeper, trust your gut. Because I wish I had done it sooner. Have you ever discovered your partner cheating with a sibling? What did you do? Let us know in the comments. And as always, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next story. Until next time.